In today's video, how you can lose body fat and go from looking like this to looking like this and getting that 10% body fat, showing some abs, but more importantly, how you can maintain it. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, we're going to discuss the idea of maintaining a lean physique. Now, a lot of the videos I've been making lately have been about losing body fat, what type of cardio you should do, what type of diet you should do. And while those are great, I do think we need to address the elephant in the room is, what do we do with that physique once we get it? Now, I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this because I've reached well below 10% body fat many times in my career, and I've learned a lot about how the body responds to that position. I've also been coaching competitors now for more than a decade, so I can give you guys some examples, some real world examples of what's going on my Instagram, because that's where I tend to highlight most of my competitors. Now, if you'd like to send me a question, you can go right here to my Instagram direct message. That's where we got today's question from. I'd also like you guys to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this type of content and you want to give me some ideas for new videos. We're going to address all these topics once we answer today's question. I've been lifting for almost a year now, very intensely and regularly. I am about 9% body fat. I stay in a very slight deficit, and I'm not sure if I should increase my caloric intake in order to continue gaining muscle. I'm 5'8", 145. I would like to continue growing muscle without gaining or losing body fat. Can you make a video about what people in my position should do? I would like to stay at this body fat. So let's talk about the diet and the approach. The diet, the cardio that it requires to reach 10% body fat. Now, for most people, it's going to mean your calories get 10 times below your body weight. Meaning, if you're a 150-pound person and you are trying to lose weight, eventually your calories are going to get below 1,500. So I tend to find that this 10x number is about where our calories have to get to. Now, when I am very lean, I'm leanish now, but when I'm shredded lean and I'm below 200 pounds, I do find there are periods of time where my calories dip below 2,000. That's pretty dang low, especially for me. But what I find is, I'm going to explain why we can change that number. But getting fat off is the most difficult part of this process. The body is completely different once it has less body fat on it, and we have to adjust accordingly, which we'll talk about here. Carbs especially. The reason I want to talk about carbs is because I believe they are the biggest variable in getting to and maintaining a very lean physique. I also find that when my carbs get below 200 grams a day, that's when I start to struggle sometimes with energy and performance and focus, okay? Carbohydrates being the main driver behind our performance in the gym, also brain fuel. And cardio starts to become elevated throughout this process. Now, in the form of cardio, it could just be that you're an active individual at work. It could be that you're doing HIIT workouts. It could be that you're doing CrossFit. It could be that you're doing anything, but cardio, or let's just explain it as activity, is usually pretty elevated when we get to that 10%. Now, most people diet down to this for a reason. It might just be aesthetics. You might just want to look good on the beach for the summer. You might just be doing a 90-day transformation challenge like the one that we have coming up. I'll link it below. We're giving away $25,000. And if you're doing a competition like that, you might reach 10% body fat. But sometimes the goal is to keep it there. And that's where, my friend, I want to help you, because this is my job as a coach. I'll show you my competitor here. She just earned her pro card in the IFBB in the bikini division. Now, we're going to make another competition down the road, so we cannot have her body fat skyrocket up if we want to do another competition. So we've already started the process of maintaining her at a nice lean physique where she can continue to build muscle. So I want to talk about what that looks like. The term maintenance calories is the calories we describe as what keeps us at our same body weight. However, what most people don't realize is that at the beginning of the diet, which you see represented here, your maintenance calories drop as your body weight and your body fat and your calories drop. So for this person, if they were to get to their 10% body fat goal and shoot their calories all the way back up to their maintenance calories, well, what would happen? They would put body fat on very rapidly. Likewise, it takes quite a bit of effort in the terms of cardio and activity to get to 10% body fat. But if you return to your maintenance activity at the same time that you return to your maintenance calories prior to your diet, okay, these numbers are not static, they're very dynamic. Well, what would happen? You would also put body fat back on very quickly. So here's what I recommend, guys. Here is an easy way to follow this. Now, if you haven't been doing a refeed or a higher carb day throughout prep, You can start simply by adding a few carbohydrates. Once you get down here, protein is the building block for muscle. So you should not be slashing protein when you're slashing calories. Therefore, that number should remain pretty stable, okay? A good number for someone like myself that diets down, I always say set your protein at your target weight at the lowest, okay? So if you're 230 pounds like me when I start dieting, I like to diet on 230 grams of protein, but I walk around pretty lean. You may or may not need that. But you can always set your protein to your target weight. You, my friend, said you're around 150 pounds. So if you're getting around 150 grams of protein a day, you're gonna be able to keep and build muscle. So as our protein is staying pretty stable throughout the fat loss phase, now it comes down to fat. Now, while fat will vary, because I do like to keep fat higher through the prep process at the beginning, we do get to a point where our threshold for fat bottoms out. You know, usually when you're getting very lean, for someone like myself, it's 40, 45, 50 grams of protein a day. If you're a smaller person, smaller competitor, it can get pretty low, but I would still try to keep fats at 20% of your total daily calories. Now, why is that? Well, fats are responsible for our hormones, for our improving our digestion, for a whole stream of things that if we just pull fat out of the diet, they can be a problem. Well, why not keep fat higher? Well, fat is converted into body fat very easily, okay? I know a lot of people like to talk about insulin, but you don't need insulin to put body fat on. No, you can simply eat fat. It converts directly to fat, okay? Directly to adipose tissue. So if you overconsume fat calories, especially at a phase like this, your body is going to be ready to put on body fat very quickly. So this is why at the end of a dieting phase, we can start to add in carbohydrates. Now, what are carbohydrates at the end of this diet? Let's say they're down to, for someone like you, 150 grams a day. What would we start raising them up to? Thinking we don't want to bump up our calories too high because our maintenance calories have been adjusted to our new norm. Well, I would say you can add about 20 to 25% of your current calories, right? So if you're at 150 calories, you can add 30 to 40 grams of carbs to your diet right there, right? So if you're at 150 and you go up to 190, keep everything else the same, you're probably gonna see some benefits to performance, some benefits to recovery. You might even sleep a little bit better. And this is where we start to get into this interesting thing, because when you're at 10% body fat, you start to conserve energy, digestion starts to be slower, sleep starts to be interrupted, and these things can have some downstream effects that cause us to put body fat back on, meaning we have more cravings, we move less, so our non-exercise activity actually decreases. What I have found with my competitors and with myself, when I get to this low body fat level, that's the hard part, right? Now, I've been well below 10% body fat. I've been 5% body fat. I probably can find some pictures for you to put in here, but I've been striated glutes, head to toe striations. And what I find when you get there is that everything kind of sucks, right? Energy is low all day. Eating food can actually make you hungrier. It just starts to be very draining on the body. But when you get there, that is the hard part. I've also found that it's not nearly as hard to stay there as it is to get there. You've developed these systems along the way to get you lean. You have a good routine. Now all you need to do is just reverse course a little bit by simply adding in a little bit of food. Now let's say the first week you add in 30 grams of carbs to your diet and you simply take your cardio. Let's say you're doing an hour of activity a day and you drop that down maybe by 15 minutes, maybe by 50%, maybe to 30 minutes. It's a lot easier to maintain low body fat than it is to obtain low body fat. Why do people therefore not stay very lean long? Because it's difficult, okay? You've reached your goal. Your goal is usually gone, right? Most people do a competition, they do a contest prep, they do our transformation challenge, they do something that they have a goal for. You take that goal away, willpower tends to go with it. So to stay this lean, you've got to have the goal. You've got to want to stay that lean. Now, when you overeat and you're 10% body fat, it's very easy to put body fat on very quickly. However, if you're able to simply slightly increase calories over the course of a couple weeks, a couple months, I've seen people get their calories back up to their maintenance, their pre-diet maintenance, their pre-diet cardio, and still be absolutely shredded. So in the interest of putting on body fat while staying lean, meal timing does become important, macronutrient quality does become important, training intensity does become important. It gets more difficult to add muscle the leaner you stay. It's more common to maintain muscle when you get that lean. Now, you've only been training for a year, so you have the potential to be putting on muscle while losing body fat or staying lean, so I wish you the best. If you have any questions, guys, ask me below. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and hey, if you're looking for a goal to get to 10% body fat, something to motivate you, and you need some training and you need some nutrition, well, hey, we've got a $25,000 transformation challenge starting at the end of this month, so Links below, guys. Hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.